The controversial bogus doctor Matthew Lani has been arrested and is expected to appear in court today. He was caught by security guards at the Helen Joseph Hospital. Now, prior to his arrest, the SA Medical Association expressed concerns about fake doctors. Now, a number of individuals have recently been accused of falsely presenting themselves as qualified medical professionals. Joining me now is Dr Mvuyisi Mzukwa, chairperson of the South African Medical Association. Dr Mzukwa, a very good morning to you. Good to have you with us on the SA Morning. Talk to us about how prevalent this situation is. Dr. or so-called Dr. Matthew Lani is not the only one who has been posing as a doctor.
Good morning to you, Tammy, and to your viewers, and thanks for having me. Tammy, this is very disheartening. You'll understand that in the past we've been told that the HPCSA have identified and led to arrest of about 124 fake doctors. So we know now that this is very prevalent in our communities. And I think that is why now we have to strengthen what the HPCSA is doing. I commend them for the inspectorate unit that is on the ground. But I think, as you have, you may have heard, that it is actually dangerous for them as well. They have to travel there with security protection, to identify these fake doctors. But what we've noted now is that people are not afraid of the law. They just come out, in the public and claim to be doctors when actually they don't have any of these qualifications.
What's quite concerning here, Doctor, is that in the case of Lani, for example, he was actually giving medical advice online, and he's actually selling medication as well. What advice would you give to the community as to how to approach this?
Well, this, it is very difficult for communities, to be identifying or even verifying those doctors who are online using social media platforms. But it is important that we know that we need not take social media platforms seriously when it comes to fake people who are claiming to be healthcare professionals. I think we need to protect ourselves and make sure that we are dealing with somebody who's registered, because in most cases, those people don't use their actual name. They use the social media identity. So it's important that we go to the register of the HPCSA in their website, make sure that this doctor is actually a registered medical practitioner, or even call the HPCSA, because you can also call them to verify. This we can do not only to the social media personalities. We can also do with the doctors on the ground. We can identify them and report them to the law enforcement agencies.
So what are the repercussions for somebody who does actually impersonate a doctor? We have seen in Lani's case, the doctor that he was impersonating, Dr. Sanele Zingelwa, he has laid a charge of impersonation against Lani. But over and above that, what can be done?
Well, you will understand that this is above my my salary, because I'm not a law expert. But you will understand that if a person is not registered with the HPCSA, you will understand that that person is not a medical doctor, no matter what they claim. But the implications are huge, because this borders on criminality. In fact, it's criminality even if you give medication to patients, you even give advice to patients, because people are going to use that advice, and you surely are giving wrong advice, to the patients, because you are not trained. You are not a medical doctor. So people need to be very careful when they border on this one.
Dr. Mzukwa, that question was more around the issue, I guess, of hospital security, because Lani was allowed into Tembisa Hospital because he was impersonating Dr. Zingelwa. He was allowed into Helen Joseph Hospital with a stethoscope around his neck, and that's the venue that he used, or the location that he used, in order to record his TikTok videos. So as far as hospital security is concerned, and really making sure that whoever's coming into your ward and who's ever coming into your hospital is actually supposed to be there in their capacity as a medical professional.
That's very serious, Tammy, because nobody is allowed to be taking pictures in the hospitals with faces of patients in the first place, because you are invading their privacy. The second thing, I think, like we always say, in the hospitals and all these healthcare institutions, security personnel need to be trained on how to deal with the public in the hospitals, because you'll understand it if they were proactive in this regard. They wouldn't have allowed a person to be taking pictures, in the public like that. And also, we need to be making sure that people are wearing their identity cards so that they can be identified easily by the security personnel. And people must not be offended when they are asked to identify themselves, because we know now that there are fake doctors out there. So this is very important. But also, you have noted that, even the Department of Health in Gauteng has been using this doctor on their social platforms. It means also their checks and balances are very loose.